What's up? What's up, good people? It's D Train. D Train's bunk. Yeah, so I wanted to talk about this Duke UNC Duke Tar Heels versus the Blue Devils situation. Um, I think I've seen a lot of different um, rivalry videos, and unless you experience it, it just gives you a different. So I'm going to give it a slightly different take. Okay. So the name of this is UNC versus Duke. Student sections use RNC versus DNC tactics during games, at games. Yeah. So let me back up for a second. If you didn't know, I went to UNC between like 93 to 97. I From 94 to like 98. I'm sorry, 2002. From 94 to 2002, I was fortunate enough to work with the UNC women's soccer team. It's like one of those storied programs that people who play soccer kind of know about because they've been so dominant through the years, winning national titles. I mean, there's nobody even close. Um, we got like what 20 something, 28, 29. It might be close to 30. Probably not. Competition is getting up there. Anson spread the word, and I think people are seeing that you can go kind of close to home, uh, or you can go kind of far. So a lot of people they want their family to kind of see them sometimes. Be able to come to games and whatnot. So if you can go to a program that's getting up there and they're competitive, you never know, you might be the difference, right? So, but hands down, I mean, Carolina's got it. So I was able to be in a lot of different situations. See, sometimes during the off season, what happens is they have games like exhibition games or pickup games versus a set opponent. um, and some of them, you have to travel. Some of them are kind of close, like Duke, right? And every once in a while, you get to hang around and go to different games. Like if you are kind of in that arena, you probably know some people who play other sports, and they might give you a ticket, or they know you. They're like, "Yo, we having a meet over here." So every once in a while, I would get to see different, sports, like gymnastics. Like the gymnastics team, they had something over. There was a girl on our team who was a Duke fan, so I went over and I watched that. Volleyball games. You know what I'm saying? You can get in the Cameron Indoor Stadium and watch these games if you've been invited, or if you have a ticket to one of these other. But here's the thing, man. The angle I'm coming from is the cheering section, right? Sorry, excuse me while I sip on my coffee. Yeah, so you get to see these other teams play, and in whether you're watching the teams play, or if you are with the team while your team is playing, like in my case it would be the soccer team, you hear the student section, right? You hear them, man, and it's if you've ever been to a Duke function, man, they do their due diligence in finding out about their competition. And that's I don't know. I gotta say though, like back when I was rocking with the Carolina Fever a little bit, I knew one of the guys, some of the organizers of it. One guy was Dave. One guy was Ricky. He was Indian, but he was just like Ricky was crazy. He was awesome. Uh, he was, it was Dave was crazy too, man. So it was like w- it was kind of on the level where it felt like they could do but so much, but they had it in them to do it. So it's almost like their ingenuity was kind of suppressed just a tad, but I mean, you couldn't really organize a bunch of I don't know, pulling clips and stuff like that. I don't know if you could or couldn't, but I mean, we just didn't. But just knowing those guys and hanging out with them, like outside of that, it was like, oh my gosh, you guys are gonna get fired. you know, I didn't say it. I'm just like, oh my goodness. But you didn't hear it at the games unless they separately did it. I remember this one time, uh, this guy, he was on the basketball team, and we were at that end, right? And and this guy was like one of the tallest, thinnest dudes on the team. You could tell, man, he was like real tall, real lanky. And Dave turns to me and is like, "Yo, we used to play against this guy in South Carolina, and every time he got up, we would just go tall, skinny freak." And so, you know, the guy gets up there and he goes, "Tall, skinny freak." And I'm like, "Oh, I don't know if the guy made the shots or not, but that type of thing, it seems like it's more coordinated over at Duke." I mean, it seems like. Come on, hold on. Let me show you something. I got something for you. I got something to show you. Okay, so I'm on Twitter today because it's the day after the big game. Man, you gotta feel for homeboy, right? Okay, hold on. Is that it? Yeah. So the Duke students, they got like this cheat sheet, right? I'm gonna try to zoom in, and if you can see what this I don't know if it's a cheat sheet or a cheer sheet, but call it what you want. Okay, so right here you see some of the players on the team, right? And on this one you say finna get crunk, and you know they got like all these things, these just little things, just if anybody gets in the game, like this guy or whoever, man, they got like threes made this year, 5, right? We want 6 and might get it before Andy does. you know, they got all right, so this guy, I guess he said he doesn't like Bojangles, and they go, it's bow time. So it's not. I don't know. I've heard some stuff from other teams too, like NC State. They really, man. I don't even want to say what they were saying when one of our players got up. Um, Genuinely is one of the best players in the country, but you will see Nasir sitting squarely on UNC's bench. Kind of goes back to that Michael Jordan thing. Dean Smith is one of the only people that could hold him under 30 points or something. I don't know. As far as I know about any of this stuff, I don't really follow and keep up with it all. But as you can see, these people keep up with everything. And I bet these are probably some of the same things on each. But you know what? I bet some of it is even new. They probably come up with new stuff. People say stuff all the time. It's long and lanky like me would like to. I don't know. It's just crazy. Look at this. At least it's not Pitt. Okay, so they got this one. We say can't beat them, join them, because I guess Cam Johnson he transferred from Pitt, right? And it says point to Cameron Johnson. Cameron sucks. Point to student section. Cameron rocks. Right? That's more toned down than tall, skinny freak, I would say. Oh man. They mess with my man's I guess grammar. Tweeted, why wouldn't you want to be a part of this? And then and then a part equals union, apart equals separation. We do want to be a part of this. So this is what I'm talking about, man. They got this. And then they got this one dude, Ryan McAdoo, I guess. We got this guy. And so I could just hear him and they do this everywhere, even at my shows, man. At my gigs on Sunday, like when they used to, come in full effect, it would be like you would know where the dookies were when if they started chanting. That was how you knew they were from Duke. Oh, they must be dookies. They would go 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 go, or some. It would just be something. It would be something. I think it's in their blood or something, wherever they're from, like New York, New Jersey area, maybe. But this one guy said, "Daddy's better." That they really go in. So that's what I'm saying, man. When it comes to getting into the mix, they really get into it. Um, but let's talk about why I think that is, and how I think it's kind of similar to how I don't want to say the DNC, but the DNC versus the RNC. Man, it seems like all their protests are strategically planned out. They got the everything, you know, all they got their everything they're gonna they got their certain ones that they do over and over, but they're coordinated and they're attacked and they're attacked. And they're coordinated in their attack. Um and they're very targeted and tactical, you know where and here's part of the reason why I think, so if you go over to UNC, I don't even know how many people it holds at the Dean Smith Center, but if you go in, right, it's huge. It's huge. When you go into like you might miss Cameron if you drive past it. You know what I'm saying? It's like nestled, just like the football stadium. Like if you don't know where the football, you're gonna miss it. You know, UNC is kind of like it's got like a lot of sprawl. It's like a big part of a small town, right? And on campus, it's like everything is like spread out except for the main campus. They got the buildings, but even that, you could walk across the quad and get winded. You know, over at Duke, it's almost like it's a small, it's kind of a decent sized campus on inside of a bigger city. So you got different areas around the city. Um, some good, not some not so good at all. you know. Um, but you walk inside Cameron and it's like a big it's like a big high school gym, like on the bigger side of a high school. Like a high school gyms are kind of small, okay? But it's like a huge high school gym where they can pull the rafters out from under the bleachers out, and that part of the main part of the basketball court is like in the middle. Okay, they got a little bit of space on each side, but the students, like the whole arena is like a student section. I think they even got to put people up in the rafters up in the top just to do the announcing. That's where Dick Vitale used to be. He used to be up in them hot ass rafters, right? So it's real tight. It's tight in there, right? And everything around it is chanting, coordinated pressure all the time. You go over to UNC, you got the students on the ends, right? And you got the was it the Rams Club on the sides up to a certain like level, and around that, it's like people who pay for them seats, right? Can't blame them. It's not like a private school where you can just do it. You got donors. Hell, when I get old, hell, I might buy a damn seat if I can do that. Even I think these guys can even like hand their seat down to their kids if I'm not mistaken. So these are some coveted seats, but juxtapose that to Duke's Cameron Indoor, where they are just like right on you. Everybody, and they're jumping, they're loud, it's tight, you can't hear, it's hot, right? So it's almost like that old money versus like hell, but I ain't gonna trip. I know Duke's got some old money over there too. But it's like the difference in like the RNC. I feel like the RNC, the Carolina students, the way it's arranged. I can't say the students are that way because, like I said, I'm not. I haven't been to a game in forever. They might just be rowdy and just crazy as ever. I see them on TV. I see them rushing, Franklin Street. Um, but I think it's the way it's set up. Like you got more sprawl. People are more spread out, like the inner states of the country, the Midwest, and you got all these states, and you got all these people in these states. You know, An electoral college. I mean, it just makes sense. You got sprawl. You don't want, somebody like 10 people over there in that house and the property next to yours being able to make all the decisions for your property, right? So it's like, and you only got like one or two people. Oh, well, those 10 people over there are going to win, right? So they're going to win every time. But that's kind of like the way it's spread out. And then you got the DNC or the Democrats, which seem to be kind of like in these tight areas, like these cities, it seems like, you know, and it gets rowdy in there, and it's hot, it's crowded, it's rocking, it's going, you know. It just feels that's the way it just feels like, you know. What did I touch on? Yeah, man, I touched on all of that already. Damn. Oh yeah. So just to take it one step further, I got this one little thing. This one last thing for you. Where's my cursor? There we go. So then I heard about some high profile people who were gonna be there at the game. Yep. There he is. Barack. Barack the Rock. Barack Key Rocky Rock. Wow, she's kind of cute. She looks familiar. Anyway, I'm telling you, the DNC. It's the DNC. He's probably taking notes, man. All right, yeah, this is what we got to do. We got to get in here and we got to, yeah, this is like, hey, I told you, this is the way we do it. You got to organize. That's probably why he likes being in there because it's hot and it's rocking. These kids are organized. They are just like bang, bang, boom, you know. But they can't get as many. I remember one time Peyton Manning was in the spot. You know, they always have some like high profile people who just want to like get tickets and experience the experience. And what's a bigger experience than Duke, Carolina? In college basketball. I mean, I don't know what like Kansas and Kentucky and all those other places arenas are like or how their students, but I don't know. I think it's a thing of theirs. Like I don't know if all the students have it or the cheering section, but it seems like the cheering section probably um hands out those cheat sheets or whatever to anybody they think is gonna or they recognize and say, all right, here's the list, here's the rundown. When I do like this, we're gonna do this chant and whatnot. When you do like that, I don't know, it just seems like I don't know. Maybe it's all that sprawl. Maybe it's all that sprawl. The people are more spread out at our games. But that also shows you, I don't know, the the, the strength, the will of either the coaches or the players or both, you know, because on the one side, like in the Dean Smith Center, like you have to have the discipline to show up every time, regardless of your, you know, your biggest support being, I guess, farther away from you. I mean, it still gets loud in there and everything. I mean, working with the soccer team, we would do concessions at the games for extra money, and not extra money, but for money to be able to do the things that we had to do. So we had to raise funds, and they would do that by working concessions and whatnot. But every once in a while, you get to like sneak down and watch some of the game, or maybe go up in the thing and stand next to somebody or whatever. And or maybe there's a couple empty seats all the way in the back. But that sprawl, man, it still gets rowdy. Don't get me wrong. But when it's right up on you, you hear it more. And if you got all the media right down there where everybody's yelling, all tight quarters, you're probably going to hear it farther just because of that. If you got media spread out all over the place, okay, you can stand over here. You can, we're going to show the crowd that way and or whatever. Uh, It just kind of feels like it's not as rowdy, but these kids are rowdy. It's just you know. But then again, like I said, they coordinated over there too. Again, I don't get to see. Maybe they're bet. Maybe UNC's better at being at having no leaks of their cheer sheet. You know. Then over at Duke, it's like I don't know. It's just like everything is right on you. Even when you play, even when you just going to I hate to say just going to, but non-revenue sports where they don't get as much play. I have to go back to that. It's like in their blood. Like uh I can always we're always around each other again too. And a lot of Duke people, I know they used to. I don't know about now, but they used to come up to Chapel Hill and hang out. It's a cool little spot. So they're around each other quite a bit, you know, just because it's like, two college campuses real close, you know. I don't know who said it, but it's like you kiss each other's girls, and you got NC State that's right over there. They're a little bit farther, but same thing. Circles. Like I remember some guys dated girls over at NC State, um, and some of the girls uh, dated guys over at NC State or Duke. You would always see something like that happening. I mean, it was all like one. I remember one of the cheerleaders dated on the UNC cheerleaders dated an NC State cheerleader, and she was always at our games. you know. But anyway, yeah, that's my take on it. That's how I think. Which one is better? I don't know. I don't know which one's better because they have different setups, but it almost feels like there's some kind of correlation. But anyway, tell me what you think. If you went to UNC, if you didn't, if you're a fan, if you're an alumnus, if you got the inside scoop from the outside, or if you got the inside from the inside, just let me know what you think. And yeah, Duke still sucks. So therefore, on the other hand, nevertheless, word and peace.